Yeah, baby, what's cracking? We in here. It's a beautiful day to be alive here at the Big Recorded Human Civilization. I'm your host, Akira the Dawn. This is the Meaning Stream number 67. Epic activities only in 2020. Let's fight.
Get after it. Well, you gotta get after it.
Smash that like, baby. Beat the crap out of that like. Batter that like. Tweet that link, post that link somewhere someone's gonna see that thing. Let's assemble the gang, baby. We're going in. Hey, yo. What's cracking, baby? We're in here. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How you feeling? Huh? How you feeling, baby? It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day to be alive. I'm your host, Akira the Dawn. It's a very special meaning stream number 67. You know, they're all special, but this one's very special. Today, in incremental improvements, we got some new sounds on the soundboard. Special prizes to who guesses where those noises are from first. Where do those noises come from?
Fight!
Special. Appropriate noises.
You gotta get after it.
Yeah, you do. Damn, it's a whole new show up in here. We got a mini palm tree. Like, we worked out how to turn the volume of the microphone up. You know, we got noises. Yeah, what's cracking, everybody locked in? What's cracking, everybody locked in? Today's epic activity is we're doing it. Yes, you're right, WMIV. That's right, Street Fighter. Joshua Tran says more specifically Street Fighter 2.
Fight!
Damn, baby, let's get it. Yeah, you know, it's only appropriate. It's only appropriate because on this here epic ass stream, we're going in on that much requested battle of the century, that fight of the ages, that duel of the fates. You demanded it, baby, and when you demand things, like, I pay attention, you know? We pay attention over here in Meaning HQ, and we make it happen. We put it together, you know? We get it cracking. And today, in epic activities alerts, it's them two heavyweight titans of the mind. You know, one of them brought the knowledge of the East to the West. And one of them brought the knowledge of the West back to the West after the West had lost that knowledge. That foundational thing. Yeah? Both students, in their own way, of your boy Young. One of them was homies with Young, you know? One of them was not homies with Young, but he spent a lot of time thinking about what Young had read, you know, and translating that for the ages. One of them was homies with your boy Joseph Campbell, and one of them, again, studied what that boy had read, you know? One of them was from the land of Britain land, and one is from the land of Canada land. Two different lands, but united by, you know, shared mythologies, and you know, a shared kind of interesting relationship with the French. Yeah, baby, tonight, for one night only, it's Alan Watts versus Jordan Peterson. Meaningwave Live. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, baby. That's exactly what it is. And hell, why not? That brand new Akira the Don and Alan Watts album is coming out next week. In a week. This time, in a week, it'll just be 3 hours away. That's where this time next week. Oh, boy! Oh, boy! Yeah, well. And tonight, the second single drops. It's called Do Things That Are Delightful to You. We should listen to it, huh? Oh!
Akira.
He's got clout.
To spread joy, you have to have it. To impart delight, you have to be more or less delightful. And to be delightful is not some factor of trying to make yourself look delightful. It is to do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. You become thereby delightful to others. It is to do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. You become thereby delightful to others. That's to say, people who are interesting are people who are interested. Any person, for example, who is constantly thinking about all sorts of other things and other people and so on, because they're fascinating, becomes a fascinating person. But a person who doesn't think about anybody else and who's got very little going on inside their skull is boring. So in other words, your engagement with the external world, the more you are involved, the more your personality is enriched. Do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. You become thereby delightful to others. Do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. You become thereby delightful to others.
Hey!
But if you try to enrich your personality by taking a course in how to win friends and influence people, or how to be a real person, you'll become just a washout. You'll be like somebody trying to get a good nutrition by biting his nails, and then the fingers next, you know, and then half an arm gone and so on. You're entirely nourishing yourself with yourself. Now, of course, on a vast scale, the universe does that. It eats itself up. That's why the symbol of the snake swallowing its tail is a very fundamental, archaic symbol of life. But the way it's done is that the snake has in some part of the ring a place where it's not sensitive. It's called the unconscious. Where it doesn't know that what comes to it in the form of food is actually what left it in the form of excrement. That thing is... Don't mention it. After all, as the Lord said at the beginning of the universe, you must draw the line somewhere. Do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. You become thereby delightful to others.
Do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. You become thereby delightful to others. Hey. Yeah, baby, that's right. Do things that are delightful to you, and you do thereby become delightful to others. And you think, I bet someone out there is going to be all like, oh yeah, well what if you is stabbing holes in your leg? There's someone out there who finds that wonderful. Shut your pedantic mouth, my guy. Yeah. This is dropping everywhere tonight. This is dropping in 2 hours and 45 minutes. This will be on all streaming platforms. It will be on all streaming platforms. Yes, it will, baby. If you're a member of the channel, you'll be able to download it from the community tab. If you're a member of the Patreon, you'll be able to download it from the Patreon. You know? Yeah. This is from What's Wave 6, the Web of Life Part 2. Coming next week. Oh! And for the first time, it's going to be available on vinyl, baby, because you demanded it, because you said, Akira the Dawn, please make things available on vinyl. We want to buy vinyl. We are concerned about particularly violent sunspot activity wiping out all the hard drives on the planet. Please make things available on vinyl, Akira the Dawn. I said, okay. Okay, we'll try it for this, and we'll do it as a crowdfunding campaign, and that way we can ascertain if you really do want it, or if you're fibbing. And so far it seems that a whole bunch of you do, because we smashed our initial goal. We smashed our first stretch goal, which means it's going to be purple. And our current stretch goal is to get to 9K, at which point it will be a gatefold vinyl, and there will be a beautiful lyric insert, baby. So back that campaign today and get that vinyl. And get excited, because it's a 20-track album, baby, and you're going to hear it. This time next week, it will just be hours away. Just mere hours away. Oh, my goodness. What up, Alec Morland says, glad to be able to back this project. Money well spent, purple, baby. Hey, appreciate you. Thank you to everyone who supported this thing. It's very exciting that we get to make MEANINGWAVE vinyl happen in the world. I've been wanting to put my music on vinyl for a long time, and it's really exciting to be able to do that, so thank you. Alex says, I remember going to Spotify and looking for something, and I found Akira the Dawn, What's Wave, and my life changed. Hadn't heard of Alan Watts before your musical introduction, so thank you. Hey, thank you. And what were you looking for? What was it you were looking for when you found this? What could it have been? What up, Andrew Kamaromi, my guy? Thank you for the support as ever. He says, to Meaning Fam and Fam Dawn, can you please play Joseph Campbell, The Individual, for my wife Bianca's birthday? She said it feels summery. Yo, happy birthday, Bianca. Hey. He just drops a visual for that on the channel, That's good timing. The Individual. It's one of my favorite joints. The Individual is. It's it's quite obvious what it's influenced by. I was going for a kind of like a French house vibe, This is from Songs of Mythology, which came out earlier this year with Joseph Campbell. First Akira the Dawn and Joseph Campbell album to be released. This is called The Individual, and this goes out to Bianca. Happy birthday!
Now, the third function of a mythological tradition is to validate and maintain a certain moral order. Now, these moral orders greatly differ from one society to another. For example, the requirements of a primitive hunting community are very, very different from the primitive planting community. What is required of the young men and women is in each case quite different. Likewise, in a complex society of differentiated tasks with professional doctors, medical men, astronomers, scientists, governing people, trading people, all of these coordinated in one society, we have a quite different social problem, quite different moral problems, from that of a simple primitive community.
The individual must be shaped. He must be made to react in the way that God wants it to. The individual must be shaped. He must be made to react in the way that God wants it to.
And so there's this variation from society to society in terms of the social orders. Now, some of these social orders are extremely ruthless and fierce in their requirements and extremely narrow in their demands. Individuals may be thus divorced, separated, so to say, from their own nature. Read some of the descriptions in the anthropological works of the primitive initiation rites. What is done to the young people in some primitive societies in order to test their courage, in order to integrate them in the social group. Now, most societies are extremely dogmatic and fierce in their integration of the individual. The individual is born as a separate entity. He is carved up, so to say, and made to fit into a pattern that the society requires. It doesn't require a total man. It requires a part man. Not an individual, but a dividuum. Someone who has been divided up and put into a notch.
The individual must be shaped. He must be made to react in a way that God wants it to. The individual must be shaped. He must be made to react in a way that God wants it to.
This happens in the most primitive societies already. Nature produces this wonderfully rich being, full of possibilities. The society, and you cannot blame society, it requires a certain specific limited type. It's got to have that, otherwise it can't exist. And so the individual is, so to say, carved in shape, scarified, his teeth knocked out, his body is changed, so that he'll know, I'm a member of this group, not that group.
The individual must be shaped. He must be made to react in the way that God wants it to. The individual must be shaped. He must be made to react in the way that God wants it to. The individual must be shaped. He must be made to react in the way that God wants it to. The individual must be shaped. He must be made to react in a way that God wants him to. Yeah.
Hey, happy birthday, Bianca. What a wonderful husband you have. Getting you a shout out in your own song on your birthday. Wow. On that epic meaning stream. That legendary meaning stream. The one where these two, I won't call them disciples, but, beneficiaries and interested in the wisdoms of that boy Young, where they finally met across space and time and had it out, so to speak. Yeah. The individual must be shaped.
And so,
He must be made to react.
the person is removed, so to say, from his own nature.
Yeah. That's right. From his own nature. Oh.
From his own nature.
Yeah.
His own nature.
Yeah, happy birthday, Bianca. What up, Spike Rocks, welcome to the channel, Spike Rocks. We got a new member. Oh, baby, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. You'll be able to download that new single tonight. You'll be able to download those mixes we've been dropping. We stay dropping them mixes. Yeah, we do. You stay dropping them mixes, please, baby. Daniel Grove says JVP better watch out for what's 100 hand slap. Oh! You already know it, baby. All right, we've got to do the international high five before we get into this. We're going to get into this pretty speedy, baby. You know, it's epic activities only in 2020. We can't be hanging around. You know what I mean? We ain't going to make you wait. Hell no. Hell no. This is the, philosophical death match of the century. Only I would say it's less of a death match, this one. This is the first of what will be a bunch of these things. And I would say this is the initial conversation. You know, this is that initial, all right. You know the thing where they kind of get up in each other's faces, they're usually wearing some underpants. You know, when they do that, the fighter guys, and like one of them will have like a lob on. I'm thinking of when Conor McGregor did it now, and he had those tight underpants. But this will be the one, and they're like in each other's faces and saying, and it'll be that exchange of ideas, baby. Might get heated, might get passionate. You know, they might talk about things like, important things. Well, we'll see what they talk about. What could they talk about? This is one of the things people always ask me. They say, Akira the Don, you do music with Jordan Peterson and Alan Watts. How does that make sense? Surely they are not aren't they contradictory? How do you, reassign? What's the word? How do you, what is that goddamn word? How can you have both at the same time, Akira the Don? Particularly when you're so dumb you can't even remember the word for that. And I say, my goodness, come now, can you not see the truth? Aside from the fact that duality is always secretly unity, can you not see that they're discussing the very same object, but they're just stood on different sides of the room, looking at and discussing the very same object? And can you not see how those two perspectives could be very valuable in your life? To have some kind of understanding of those perspectives that could be very valuable in your life, surely. You know, it'd be like to get and see both sides of the moon. You know, not just that side we always see. You get to see that dark side too, baby. Shouts out to Carl Jung. You know, gotta keep shouting out Carl Jung. That shit important, baby. Reconcile, says Michael in Seattle. Reconcile, that's the one. That's the one, baby. We want to reconcile. Reconcile these two bad mofos. That's part of what we've been doing in this initial phase of Meaning Wave. We've been reconciling a whole bunch of stuff, baby, and we're going to reconcile the crap out of it tonight, by gosh. And you know, so... I'm going to say this. I want to know this. This is what I want to know, baby. I want to know for the international high five. I want to know where you are. Where are you and Watts or Peterson? Huh? Watts or Peterson, huh? What's your answer to that? Yeah, yeah! Jonathan Warren says Jordan was trying to show the usefulness of a good story. That's true. Michael Keefe says neither seem like the throwdown type, just steadfast and no nonsense from two perspectives. Ooh, I don't know, man. I could see both of them getting busy if it was required. You know, Alan Watts with that like many-handed slap. You know, you could say if someone stepped to his lady incorrectly. Ooh, I forgot I did that clap thing. And you know your boy Jordan busy with them slappy hands. You know he gets down. He used to box. Don't mess with neither of these guys. Yo. Daniel Grove says this live stream is delightful to me. Well, we're delighted you're here, Daniel Groves. Yes, we are. We're delighted to have you. Quentin Experiment is in the house, says this is such an epic theme. Shouts out to you, Quentin Experiment. Go check out the Quentin Experiment's YouTube channel. If you want to see a guy in the woods taking lots of psychedelics, that's the place for you. What a time to be alive.
Fight!
What up, John Hansen? John Hansen says, Akira, your back catalog is fire. Yo, thank you, baby. I've been working hard on that. Working hard on the forward catalog as well. We've got how many albums complete? The next 3 albums are complete. Next week, we've got the Alan Watts album. That will be followed by a brand new single from somebody epic the week afterwards. Ooh. Then an album the week after that. Then a brand new single from someone epic the week after that. Then a brand new album the week after that. We're going so hard, baby. Ooh. Ooh. You know the ones. How you feeling out there? What's everybody saying? Let's see what everybody's saying. All right, let's see what everybody's saying. Neat life. Oh, hang on. Let me back up to the top of this. We got a lot of opinions. We got a lot of opinions on this. So we need some appropriate music of which to muse. And I'm going to turn the reverb off. No more. There you go. Ooh. Okay, fine. Consciousness has other notions of how things ought to be. Yeah, it does. Brian Parkhill in Dallas says Peterson. And that's all. Wow. Neat Life in Iowa says Watts. And that's all. Yeah. Logan Mars in Iowa says Peterson. Cindy Bailey says Watterson. Daniel Groves in Melbourne says JBP. Marshall McLuhan says the sacrament of reconciliation. It's funny you should say that while I'm playing this beat, huh? This is the first function of mythology. That reconciliation of consciousness with the mystery of being. This is the first function of mythology. Yeah, it is. Guillermo Fierro in Santiago, Chile says JVP. Christopher in Indiana says two sides of the same coin, but today Watts. Ooh. Mary Cousins in Colorado got Peterson. Joshua Tran got Watts, says you can't slay a dragon if the dragon has no form. Yo, that's the point. I think I could. Andrew in Toronto says Peterson ton. There you go. JBP all day. You would say that, you Canadian. Neat Life says Watts could take JBP. Finn Fuego in Australia says Peterson for the practical, Watts for the laugh. Hell yeah. Alexander Freeman says, do you clean it or does it clean you? Oh! Epic questions only in 2020. Russ Christopher says JBP unless we enter the dreamland. As Watts hold the reins in most of these realms it doth seem. Mad Horse is Team Peterson in the Quentin experiment says, what does their hybrid form look like? I mean, I think that's a very good question. Duality is, of course, always secretly unity. You know that. Wapistan Lang is on Team Watts, says Watts for the win. BJB in the Carolinas says Alan Watts and Thomas Merton next showdown. Ooh, yes, JBP means reconcile. I did. Reconcile. See, oh my goodness, I'm so amazing. My subconscious is so crazy. I was trying to remember the word reconcile, and it's this song that I sing reconcile in, that reconciliation, and I played this instrumental without thinking about why. I just felt that this was the right instrumental. Isn't life crazy? Life is crazy, baby. Sluckett7 says Peterson might be a professor, but he also built railroads, and he wrestled. A professor wrestler. And he did build railroads and throw rocks at Lunchbucket's head. God damn it. Oh my goodness. Cultural Autopsy says, round one. Exactly. Christopher says, I'm raising my son on Akira the Don. He's a week old and his name is Phoenix. Yo, shouts out to Phoenix. That's another meaning baby. We need to make a list of all these meaning babies. There's a bunch of them. Congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. Shouts out to the bad man Phoenix. The world is his, baby. We got a whole bunch of these meaning babies. This L. You know what I mean? When they get to a certain age, we should have a meet-up and we should race them. You know? Brian Scott says, powerful Jordan Peterson, though. I hope he's doing okay. You know he's coming back, baby. He's groovy, man. He's just regaining those powers. He's going to come back way more powerful. Like that meaning baby Phoenix, you know? The Triode in Illinois says, Watts for the theory and Peterson for the execution. House Palmer says, Jordan Peterson and Alan Watts are yin and yang. Each had the dot of the other in themselves, right? Exactly, baby. Exactly. Vin Fuego says Floyd Wave. Shen HZ requests Manly P Hall plus ContraPoints. What, at the same time? Gee whiz. Gee whiz. Imagine. By the way, I don't know if you know, some people keep asking me for Manly P Hall. And I dropped a Manly P Hall single just a few weeks ago. And if you've not heard that, it's epic. All right. In fact, sorry, I'm going to play it in a second. But yeah, we seem to have an international audience, just like always. And we're going to have an international high five. Yes, we are. And we do that across space and time. If you're locked in live, you're gonna join energies with everyone else who's locked in live. And if you're listening on the replay, you're going to join energies with everyone across space and time, because that's how it works. Time is not beads on a string, baby. It's all here forever. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fight! Oh, Hercules is here. Boom! I'm alright. Thank you. What's that? It's not my birthday.
Birthday number.
I'm alright. I can't possibly eat and broadcast. Can you do that, Hercules? Can you eat and broadcast?
Yeah, I do it every day.
Come here. What'd you say? Welcome to the building, Hercules. Hercules just turned up with a piece of birthday cake.
Yeah, I can. I can eat and do stuff.
Yeah, but if you're eating and broadcasting, you have to chew, and people have to listen to you chewing. It's gross. There's certain people whose broadcasts I really enjoy, and then they start eating Doritos and things like that, and I just can't hack it. Like, I had to stop watching some people. I can't be watching people while they're eating Doritos. It's just messed up. Anyway, we're gonna get into it after this. This is Reduced Effort. It's Manly P Hall and Akira the Don. Ooh.
But by this means of effortless effort, the individual changes his policy. And a good example of this method of changing is in the selection of an adequate vocal coach if you intend to take singing lessons. In the, shall we say, robusto style, the principal problem was to open your mouth and bellow. And nearly all, or many, of the older singers were quite content and happy if they could rattle the chandeliers in the back of the opera house. Then it was gradually discovered that this was the best way to ruin a voice that there was. These voices were damaged, and damaged terribly. Today we know that the best way to learn to vocalize is to reduce effort. Today we know that the best way to learn to vocalize is to reduce effort. The principal problem that every singer has to get rid of is his own throat. If he could lose it, he would sing better. Get his mind off of the noise he is making. Relax and allow the breath to move as it will. And if he controls the breath with a minimum of mental energy, he will produce a pure tone. Well, if he gets behind it and shoves with everything he has, he will develop only a badly pressured, badly trained voice. Today we know that the best way to learn to vocalize is to reduce effort. Today we know that the best way to learn to vocalize is to reduce effort. Same thing in life. Same thing in life. The purpose of life, the economy of life, is to use a minimum amount of energy to attain maximum results.
Minimum amount of energy, maximum results. Minimum amount of energy, maximum results. Minimum amount of energy, maximum results.
Same thing in life.
Minimum amount of energy, maximum results.
Same thing in life.
Same thing in life. Same thing in life. Ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah, baby. Bap, bap, bap. That's that Akira the Don and Manly P Hall. Reduce effort. That's like a gentle way of introducing Manly P Hall into the Meaning Wave universe. You know what I mean? That's just like a little, just a gentle little snuggle in there. You know what I mean? You ain't going, you ain't smacking right in there with the scary stuff. You know what I mean? Just like a little gentle little thing. Yeah, shouts out to Manly P Hall and the PRS, you know. The PRS that was done, you know, they sanctioned the release of that record thanks to them, you know. And there will be more where that came from, baby. Yes, there will. There's going to be more when that came from. And also, if you noticed on that one, I was doing a couple extra harmonies type bits at the end that aren't in the record. The good news is that record's getting remixed and remastered because it's going to appear as part of Meaning Wave Masterpieces 2, which is coming later this year. There will be a collection of individual tracks from individual speakers. I would say about 90% of which you've yet to hear, you know, but there'll be a couple of things like that track will be on there, like a remixed version with like extra choirs and extra vocals and like a gospel choir and things of that nature, you know what I mean? So that's hype. I'm excited for that. But never mind all that, brothers and sisters. Never mind all that. Never mind all that, baby. We're going in. We're about to go in. Yes, indeed we are. Calling to the stage, our speakers, to the stage! In the left corner, with a very, very fine beard and a fine head of hair. You know, just like looking like a dream. The girls are going crazy. It's your boy Alan Watts. Oh! And over in that other corner, also with a fine beard today, is the bruiser from Alberta himself. What do we know about this guy?
He's got clout.
Yeah, he does. It's Jordan B. Peterson.
Fight!
Akira.
He's got clout.
I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to. And you would, of course, be able to alter your time sense and slip, say, 75 years of subjective time into 8 hours of sleep. You would, I suppose, start out by fulfilling all your wishes. You could design for yourself what would be the most ecstatic life. Love affairs, banquets, dancing girls, wonderful journeys, love affairs, banquets, dancing girls, wonderful journeys, gardens, music beyond belief.
Akira.
Music beyond belief. Music beyond belief. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted. Any dream you wanted. Any dream you wanted. Any dream you wanted. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted. And then after a couple of months of this sort of thing at 75 years a night, you would be getting a little taste for something different. You would move over to an adventurous dimension, where there were certain dangers involved, and the thrill of dealing with dangers. And you could rescue princesses from dragons, and go on dangerous journeys, make wonderful explosions and blow them up. Eventually get into contest with enemies. And after you've done that for some time, you think up a new wrinkle, to forget that you were dreaming, so that you would think it was all for real, and to be anxious about it, because it'd be so great when you woke up. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to. 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 I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to. And then you say, well, like children who dare each other on things, how far out could you get? What could you take? What dimension of being lost, of abandonment of your power, what dimension of that could you stand? You could ask yourself this, because you know you'd eventually wake up. After you'd gone on doing this, you see, for some time, you would suddenly find yourself sitting around in this room with all your personal involvement, problems, etc., talking with me. How do you know that's not what you're doing? Could be. Because after all, what would you do if you were God? I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to. Any dream you wanted to. Any dream you wanted to. Any dream you wanted. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to. I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to. 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 I wonder what you would do if you had the power to dream any dream you wanted to. What would you do if you were God? 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 What would you do if you were God?
Meaning is what you have to buttress yourself against the tragedy of life. Despite the fact that you're a fragile, damaged, mortal creature, you found something to do that announced itself as worthwhile. That's meaning. It's an instinct. It's a deep, deep instinct. It's maybe the deepest instinct. It's like a form of vision. Meaning tells you when you're in the right place. And the right place is between chaos and order. And those are real places, your hemispheres. Your right hemisphere is roughly evolved, let's say, to deal with things you don't understand. That's chaos. And your left is there to deal with things you do understand. You can't just stay with the things you do understand, because you already understand them. And you can't just stay with what you don't understand, because then you're lost. So you need to be in the middle of those two. And you can tell when you're in the middle, because everything lines up. everything lines up. Expedience is you do the thing that gets you off the hook the fastest right now. You play that game across time, it doesn't work. It sends you down because you're sacrificing the future for the present. Meaning doesn't do that. Meaning says, I'm here where I should be. And you can't tell why. It's just that everything is right. You get this physiological sense. Right place, right time. Follow this meaningful path. That's your buttress against the tragedy that produces resentment and malevolence. Meaning is the antidote to that. That's the fundamental religious truth. Life is suffering. That's true. There's malevolence. That's true. Meaning is the antidote to that. Yes. People say, well, meaning isn't real. It's like, no, that's wrong. It's actually the real thing. It might even be more real than suffering and evil. It's possible. This isn't a metaphysical assumption that I'm making. And you do feel it. You feel it in your body. It's not just a mental thing. It's not an idea. It's a place. Because we're in time and space, right? And a place is a place, 3 dimensions of space, but it's also a time. And when the place and the time are set up properly, you're in the right place. And your brain is telling you that. Your being is telling you that. The purpose of profound religious contemplation, profound philosophical contemplation, is to learn how to be in the right place at the right time, all the time. All the time. There's this line from the Gospel of Thomas, which was discovered in 1957, and it says, the kingdom of God is spread out before the eyes of men, but men do not see it. And that's kind of what it's referring to. There are times when you're in the right place at the right time, and then you're where you should be. And you're not really trained to notice that, because it isn't something we ever talk about. It's like, you're in the right place at the right time. Okay, why? What did I do right? What did I do? I need to do more of that. So maybe it's only half an hour a week when you first start noticing. And then maybe with 3 months of practice, you can get it up to an hour a day. And then maybe you can get it up to 4 hours a day. And God only knows where you could get it if you keep practicing, You can be there. We don't know what the upper limit of that is.
Perfect.
So also music is a kind of non-purposive thing, because you don't either play music to reach a destination, nor do you dance to reach a particular place on the floor. It is the doing of it itself that is important. Music. It is the doing of it itself that is important. Music. It is the doing of it itself that is important. Music. It is the doing of it itself that is important. Music. It is the doing of it itself that is important. Because after all, if the object of music were to gain a certain destination, those orchestras that played fastest would be considered the best. The best.
Akira.
Dancing and music, more than other arts, represent the nature of this world. The nature of this world. That it is playful, that it is sport. That it may be sincere, but is definitely not serious. And as G.K. Chesterton well put it once, the angels fly because they take themselves lightly. of it itself that is important. Music. It is the doing of it itself that is important. Music. It is the doing of it itself that is important. Music.
The angels fly because they take themselves lightly. The angels fly because they take themselves lightly. The angels fly because they take themselves lightly.
What would be the forms of culture that we would say to be necessary or most inclined to foster in the individual that blowing of the flame?
I think the most accessible form for most people is music. And music, to me, is the most representational form of art, because I think that the world is made out of patterns. And we perceive some patterns as objects, but fundamentally it's patterns. And what you want is all the patterns of the world to interact harmoniously in something where every element is related intelligibly to every other element. And I think that when your life is in harmony, then you can feel that. When you're dancing to beautiful music, you're acting that out. The music is the music of the spheres, and you're participating in the patterning of your being in accordance with that structure, and that gives you an intimation of transcendence. Music is everything. Music is everything. It's not criticizable. That's the thing that's so lovely about it, is even as our society has become more cynical and more self-destructive and more deconstructionist, the power of music has in fact grown. Because it speaks to that eternal harmony. And the reality of that eternal harmony in a way that mere intellect cannot deny. And I mean, I was always amused. I went to this show, the Ramones, a punk band from New York. It was the loudest concert I'd ever heard by a good factor of 10. My ears rang for like 3 days afterwards. There were all these like nihilistic punk rockers all it was a mosh pit. It was like ants on a frying pan. And they were just smashing into each other and throwing people around up above them. And it was quite rough. And they were all having this beautifully transcendent musical experience which belied all of their nihilism. And absolutely thrived on it. It was like, and even the lyrics were harsh and nihilistic, but it didn't matter because the music in its rough form was something that united them in the sense of this like patterned beauty and brought them together. And so exposure to music, people die without music. It's like, music is everything. Music is everything. Music is everything. Music is everything.
Perfect.
Akira.
He's got clout.
The sense that you just have to go on living. That life is a must. When you say to anything spontaneous, see, life is spontaneous. It happens, in the words of the Taoists, Ziran, which means of itself so. That's their Chinese expression for nature. What happens by itself, what isn't pushed, but it just pops up, you see? You came into being, you know? It happens in a kind of a plop way like that, see? Now, you can't tell that process. You ought to happen. You must happen. Because that puts a bind on it. In the same way as when you have a child and all the relatives have come to a party on Thanksgiving, the child into the middle of all the relatives and say, now dear, play. Now dear, play. Now dear, play. Play on demand, play on demand, play on demand, play. Say now dear, play. Now dear, play. Play on demand, play on demand, play on demand, play. See, it absolutely bugs the child to do it like that. And so this is the problem for every artist. Because an artist is a man who makes his living by playing.
Akira.
Whether he's dancing, painting, or playing music, or whatever it is. And he has to overcome this problem. He has to know how to play in public at a given time on an appointment. See? Now that's not an easy thing to learn. But when you catch on to the trick of it, you can do it. To play on demand. That's the hardest lesson of life. To contrive what is called by my Japanese artist friend Saburo Hasegawa a controlled accident. Now dear, play. Now dear, play. Play on demand, play on demand, play on demand, play. Say now dear, play. Now dear, play. Play on demand, play on demand, play on demand, play. Now dear, play. Now dear, play. Play on demand, play on demand, play on demand, play. Say now dear, play. Now dear, play. Play on demand, play on demand, play on demand, play.
Play. Now dear, play. Play on demand, play on demand, play on demand, play. Hey, now dear, play. Hey, now dear, play. Hey, play on demand, play on
Perfect.
The next question.
Do you have problems in your life that you're not addressing that you could solve? An answer is yes. An answer is yes. Do you have problems in your life that you're not addressing that you could solve? An answer is yes. An answer is yes. And it's an easy thing to figure out. You sit on your bed one morning and say, okay, there's some things that need to be done that I don't want to do, that I could do, that would make things better by the end of the day. What are they? Your conscience will deliver those suckers no time flat now. And then you might have to say, okay, well, how do I entice myself into doing a few of those? If you ask, instead of trying to force yourself to do it like you're a tyrant and a slave at the same time, you can usually negotiate with yourself so that you'll start to sort those things out. Sort them out. Put your house in order. and then move on. Do you have problems in your life that you're not addressing that you could solve? An answer is yes. An answer is yes. Do you have problems in your life that you're not addressing that you could solve? An answer is yes. An answer is yes. You have a practice domain. There are things that are within your grasp that you could fix. That you could fix. Fix them. And you'll learn. It will make you grow very, very rapidly. And then you'll be able to sort out more complex problems without making them worse.
There is no hope in time. Everything is going to get worse in time. Because, as you know, it does. We all fall apart in the end. Everything falls apart. Institutions, buildings, nations, it all crumbles. And people say, well, that's an awfully pessimistic philosophy. Well, is it? Well, is it? I would rather say that the people who have hope in the future are the miserable people. Because they're like donkeys, chasing carrots that are dangled before their noses from sticks attached to their collars. And they pursue in vain, always hoping that tomorrow will be the great thing. The great thing. The great thing. Always hoping that tomorrow will be the great thing. The great thing. The great thing. And therefore incapable of enjoying themselves today. People who live for the future never get there. Because when their plans mature, they are not there to enjoy them. They're the sort of people who spend their lives saving for their old age and try to teach their children to do the same thing. Always hoping that tomorrow will be the great thing. The great thing. The great thing. Always hoping that tomorrow will be the great thing. The great thing. The great thing. And therefore incapable of enjoying themselves today.
Very frequently what I'm doing as a therapist is helping people have a life that would work, you know, and you can parameterize that. What do you need? How about some friends? How about an intimate relationship with someone that you can trust, that maybe has a future? That'd be good. How about a career that puts you in a dominance hierarchy somewhere, so at least you've got some possibility of rising, some possibility of stabilizing yourself, and a schedule and a routine, because no one can live without a routine. You just forget that. If you guys don't have a routine, I would recommend, like, you get one going, because you cannot be mentally healthy without a routine. You need to pick a time to get up, whatever time you want, but pick one and stick to it, because otherwise you dysregulate your circadian rhythms, they regulate your mood. And eat something in the morning. I had lots of clients who've had anxiety disorders. I had one client who was literally starving. Very smart girl. There was very little that she liked. She kind of tried to subsist on like half a cup of rice a day. She came to me and said, I have no energy. I come home, all I want to do is watch the same movie over and over. Is that weird? And I thought, well, it depends on how hard you work. You know, it's a little weird, but whatever. You need to regulate your use of drugs and alcohol, most particularly alcohol, because that does in a lot of people. You need a family, like the family you have, your parents and all that. It'd be nice if you all got along, you could work on that. That's a good thing to work on. And then, you know, you probably need children at some point. And that's life. And that's life. That's what life is. Human beings have a nature. There's things we need. And that's life. That's what life is. Human beings have a nature. There's things we need. And if you're missing, you know, you may have a good reason to not be operating on one of those dimensions. It's not mandatory, but I can tell you that if you're not operating reasonably well on at least 3 of them, there's no way you're going to be psychologically thriving. And that's more pragmatic in some sense than psychological, right? Human beings have a nature. There's things we need. And if we have them, well, that's good. And if we don't have them, well, then we feel the lack. And so behaviorists, behavioral psychologists concentrate a lot more on that sort of thing. You know, it's practical. It's like strategizing. Make a career plan. Figure out how to negotiate, because that's bloody important. Figure out how to say what you need. Figure out how to tell the truth to people. Figure out how to listen to your partner in particular, because if you listen to them, they will actually tell you what they want. And sometimes you can give it to them, and maybe they'll return the favor. And if you practice that for like 15 years, well, then maybe you're constantly giving each other what you want. Well, hooray, that would be good. And then there's 2 of you under most circumstances, and it's better to have 2 brains than 1, because people think differently because of their temperament mostly. And so the negotiation is where the wisdom arises, and it's part of the transformation, the psychological transformation that's attendant on an intimate relationship, and one of the fundamental purposes of a long-term intimate relationship. That's life. That's what life is. Human beings have a nature. There's things we need. That's life. That's what life is. Human beings have a nature. There's things we need. That's life.
Perfect.
Damn, baby. Damn, baby, how's it going out there? How we doing out there? What's the scoreboards looking like? Drop your Watts emojis if you're feeling that Watts. Drop your Peterson emojis if you're feeling that Peterson. You know how I get down. Coming back to the stage. Looking serious. You boy.
Akira. The Buddhists in Japan call it Jiji Muge. Jiji Muge. Between event and event, there is no block. And they represent this imagistically as a network. Imagine a multidimensional spider web covered in dew in the morning. And every single drop of dew on this web contains in it the reflections of all the other drops of dew. And of course, in turn, in every drop of dew that one drop reflects, there is the reflection of all the others again. And they use this image to represent the interdependence of everything in the world. You see, it takes two. We could have so much fun, but it takes more than one. You see, it takes two. We could have so much fun, but it takes more than one. She don't want it. In other words, if we give this dewdrop image, if we put it into a linguistic analogy, we would say this: words have meaning only in context. The meaning of any word depends upon the sentence or upon the paragraph in which it's found. So that if I say, this tree has no bark, that's one thing. And if I say, this dog has no bark, that's another thing. So you see, always, the meaning of the word is in relation to the context. Now, in exactly the same way, the meaning, as well as the existence of an individual person, an organism, is in relation to the context. You are what you are, sitting here at this moment, in your particular kind of clothes, and with the particular colors of your faces and your particular personalities, your family involvements, your business involvements, your neuroses, and your everything. You are that precisely in relation to an extremely complex environment. You see, it takes two. We could have so much fun, but it takes more than one. You see, it takes two. We could have so much fun, but it takes more than one. More than one. She don't want it. If a given star that we observe didn't exist, you would be different from what you are now. I don't say you wouldn't exist, but you would exist differently. You might say the connection is very faint, is something that you don't ordinarily have to think about. It's not important. But basically it is important. Only you say, I don't have to think about it because it's there all the time. See, for example, the floor is underneath you all the time. Some sort of floor, some sort of earth. And you really don't have to think about it. It's just always there, it's always around. If you become insensitive, you stop thinking about it. But there it is. And so in the same way, our subtle interdependence with, mind you, it's not just our plain existence. It's the kind of existence we have is dependent upon all these things. Also our plain existence, but that gets way down. The fundamental thing is existence is relationship. In In other words, if my finger up here is all alone and the wind doesn't move and nothing touches it, it stops knowing that it's there. But if something comes along and does, immediately it's aware that it's there. So, you see, it takes two. We could have so much fun, but it takes more than one.
She don't wanna hide.
You see, it takes two.
We could have so much fun, but it takes more than one. More than one. She don't wanna hide.
But in this way, you see, what we call duality, well, you can see, can't you, how duality is fundamental. It takes two. But duality is always secretly unity. Unity. Duality is always secretly unity. 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 Unity.
A situation where there's a possibility of finding a sexual partner is a very important component, because eye contact indicates interest, and it also indicates, at least in principle, the possibility of approach. And so approach is dopaminergically mediated, and it's a positive emotional state. And that's also why, interestingly enough, if you go into a pharmacy and there's a rack of magazines, what's on the cover? It's an invocation of interest. And so, magazines evolve. All the ones that don't get bought fail. And so what's happened is they all converge to the same point. And the same point is the thing that's maximally interesting to a magazine purchaser is a beautiful female face. Whether it's male or female. Beautiful woman. So you show them the face of a beautiful woman, their eyes are looking that way, or this way, or they're looking right at you. You can check the activity in the dopaminergic center in a place called the nucleus accumbens, which is the same place that cocaine hits. Based on eye contact, that thing lights up. Lights up even more if she's wearing a red dress. Right, and you can get the same kind of lighting up with a red curvy sports car. So I thought when I read that was the perfect situation. Is like a beautiful girl dressed in red, perched on a sports car with some cocaine. Beautiful girl dressed in red, perched on a sports car with some cocaine. Beautiful woman.
Perfect.
If a beautiful lady should say to me, I love you, and I were to reply, are you serious or are you just playing with me?
That would be quite the wrong response. Because I hope she's not serious and that she will play with me. I should say, are you sincere or are you just toying? Because you see, the word play has many different senses. A person who is playing the organ in church is certainly not doing something trivial. When you go to see a play called Hamlet, you're not seeing something trivial. When the concert artist plays Mozart, he is certainly entertaining you, but it's not a trivial entertainment. But on the other hand, we would use play in quite a different sense, when we mean just fooling around, doing it for kicks.
Hey, doing it for
kicks.
God in the sky.
Doing it for kicks.
Hey,
doing it for kicks.
God in the sky.
So it is fundamental, as a matter of fact, to both the Hindu and the Christian tradition, that the universe is the play of God. But the Christian thinks of it in the terms of construction play.
Perfect.
Blocks. The Hindu thinks of it as dramatic play, of the actual participation of the Godhead in the creation, so that every being whatsoever is God in disguise, doing it for kicks. God in disguise,
Doing it for
kicks.
Hey,
God in disguise, doing it for kicks.
Hey,
God in disguise, doing it for kicks.
Oh,
Doing it for kicks. God in disguise,
doing it for
kicks. God in disguise, doing it for kicks. God in disguise, doing it for kicks.
What you want to do is you want to enter into a conversation so that you come out wiser than you went in. The best example of this is when you're having an argument with your intimate partner, let's say, because you're going to want to win. So then you got to think, okay, well, wait a second. We better sort out what winning means here. So let's say that you're more verbally fluent than your partner and more treacherous. So you can win. That doesn't mean you're right, first of all. Winning when you're wrong is a really bad idea. Because then you think you're right. And you're not.
Fight.
And then maybe the person can see things you can't, but can't verbalize them quite as well. Well, you might want to listen. Just there's the possibility that they're trying to tell you how not to run headlong into a brick wall. There's some possibility of that. And so maybe you even have to help them form it. It's like, okay, I don't get exactly what you're saying. I don't get exactly why you're annoyed. I'm not sure exactly what you want me to do to change it. Let's get this clear. And then I'm going to think about it. Like, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. I'm going to see if possibly you're right. I'm not going to roll over, because I would rather you weren't right. I'm not going to change. But I am going to listen. I would rather not run headlong into a brick wall if I don't have to. And so that's the idea with the conversation.
Akira.
He's got clout.
Do you know this? This is wonderful. X marks the spot. X marks the spot. Imagine this going on and on. Supposing my finger were indefinitely long. Both fingers. They're just crossing each other. Now, on one side of it, it's a pair of scissors. And it cuts. What is it on the other side? Why, it's opening female legs, saying, please come in. 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 One side of it, it's a pair of scissors. What is it on the other side? Utter softness, utter receptiveness. On the other side, it's... But on this side, it's... Please, 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 please. Yes, 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 yes. Well, and everything's based on that. See? It's this way. Sharpness, teeth, biting, spines, crab shells, all that kind of thing, you know? On the other side, it's the melting softness of life. Please come in. 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 One side of it, it's a pair of scissors. What is it on the other side? So, if you see that, if you get that principle, you can feel yourself not sort of just rattling around in the world as a kind of somebody who's been stuck down there, but you can feel yourself going on in absolutely exact relationship with everything around you. Please come in. 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 One side of it, it's a pair of scissors. What is it on the other side? Please come in. 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 One side of it, it's a pair of scissors. What is it on the other side?
Yeah, baby. Make some noise for your boy Alan Watts. Oh!
Perfect.
I read this piece of work by Jung a long while back. It was a meditation on the injunction to treat your neighbor as you would like to be treated. And what Jung pointed out, which I really liked, was that wasn't an injunction to be nice to other people. It was an invitation to reciprocity. It was something like this. It's like you should figure out how you would like to be treated, like you were taking care of yourself, not how you would like people to respond to you. It's more important than that. It's like, imagine you had a child that you really cared for, and someone said, well, people will treat this child exactly like you want them to, but you have to figure out what that is. And so then you'd have to sit down for like a month and you'd think, okay, well, how do you want your child to be treated? You don't want everyone just to be nice to him, you know. You want people to challenge him, and you want people to discipline him, and you want people to tell him when he's wrong. It's like, you don't just want everyone to be nice. That's pathetic. It's pathetic. There's no challenge in that. 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 There's no challenge in that. 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 Human beings are self-conscious, and we know about our limitations, and we know about our weaknesses. And so we can have contempt for human beings in general because, you know, we're just flawed and breakable and all of that. But we know ourselves better than we know everyone else. And so you have a very acute sense of how you're not up to scratch. And so that leads naturally to a sort of self-contemptuous attitude. People are more likely to give prescription medication to their pets than to take them themselves. Imagine someone that you treat well, that you love, and try to treat yourself that way. You got to detach from yourself a bit. You got to think, okay, well, I'm a person among other people, and I deserve at least as much respect as a person among other people. I should be trying to help myself across time. And instead of being self-contemptuous and self-destructive, I need to take care of myself as if I'm potentially valuable and to lay out my life that way. It's hard for people. They don't take care of themselves as well as they should. Take care of your room, take care of your things, like have some respect for yourself as a miraculous being, because that is actually what you are. There is a lot of potential within you. You're necessary more than you think to the unfolding of things. That's the thing about being an individual. It's the thing that Western civilization has always recognized, that as an individual, you have a light that you have to bring into the world, and that if you don't bring it into the world is a dimmer place, and that's a bad thing, because when the world is a dim place, it can get very, very, very dark.
Akira.
This ain't no middle of the mile.
You love yourself in terms of what is other. In terms of what is other. You love yourself in terms of what is other. In terms of what is other. Now, when you go deeply into the nature of selfishness, what do you discover? You say, I love myself, I seek my own advantage. Now, what is the self that I love? What do I want? And that becomes an increasingly ever-deepening puzzle. Now, I've often referred to this when you say to somebody else, I love you. It's always rather disconcerting to the person to whom you say that. If you imply that you love them with a pure, disinterested, and holy love, they automatically suspect it as being a little bit phony. But if you say, I love you so much I could eat you, that's an expression, as a way of saying to a person, you attract me so much that I can't help it. I'm absolutely bowled over by you. I'm gone. And people like that. Then they feel they're really being loved, that it's absolutely genuine. But now, I love you so much I could eat you. Now what the devil do I want? I certainly don't want to eat the girl in the sense of literally devouring her, because then she'd disappear. But I love myself. And what is me? In what way do I know me? Well, it suddenly occurs to me that I know me only in terms of you. See, when I think of anything that I know and that I like, then it's always something that can be viewed as other than me. I can never get to look at me, real me. It's always behind. It's always hidden. And I really don't know it well enough to know whether I love it or not. Maybe I don't. Maybe it's an appalling mess. But certainly the things I do love and that I want from a selfish point of view, when I really think about them, they're all something else that's in a way outside me. You love yourself in terms of what is other. In terms of what is other. You love yourself in terms of what is other. In terms of what is other. Now we saw that there is a reciprocity. A total mutual interdependence between what we call the self and what we call the other. That's the warp and the woof. And so if you're perfectly honest about loving yourself, and you don't pull any punches, you don't pretend that you're anything other than exactly what you are, you suddenly come to discover that the self you love, if you really go into it, is the universe. You suddenly come to discover that the self you love, if you really go into it, is the universe. You don't like all of it. You're selective about it, as we saw in the beginning. Perception is selection.
But on the whole,
yeah,
you love yourself in terms of what is other, in terms of what is other. You love yourself in terms of what is other, in terms of what is other. You love yourself in terms of what is other, in terms of what is other. You love yourself in terms of what is other, in terms of what is other.
it's only in terms of what is other that you have a self at all.
Perfect.
Fight! Fight!
Perfect.
Fight! 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 Fight!
Perfect.
Okay, so here's the problem. There's a big problem here. The problem is, it's true.
God only knows why. You're oppressed, 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 you're oppressed. God only knows why.
Maybe you're too short, or you're not as beautiful as you could be, or your grandparent was a serf. Likely, because almost everybody's great-grandparent was. You know, and you're not as smart as you could be, and you have a sick relative, and you have your own physical problem. Frankly, you're a mess. Frankly, you're a mess. And you're oppressed in every possible way, including your ancestry and your biology. The entire sum of human history has conspired to produce victimized you with all your individual pathological problems. It's like, yes! True!
You're oppressed, 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 you're oppressed. God only knows why. You're oppressed, 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 you're oppressed. God only knows why.
Okay, but the problem is that it is true, and so if you take the oppressed, you have to fractionate them and fractionate them and fractionate them and fractionate them, and it's like, you're a woman. Yeah, okay, well, I'm a black woman. Well, I'm a black woman who has 2 children. Well, I'm a black woman who has 2 children, and one of them isn't very healthy. And then, well, I'm a Hispanic woman, and I have a genius son who doesn't have any money so that he can't go to university. My husband is an alcoholic brute. It's like, well, yeah, that sucks too. And so, let's fix all your oppression. Let's fix all your oppression.
Let's fix all your oppression.
And we'll take every single thing into account, and then we'll fix yours too. We'll take every single thing into account. It's like, no, you won't.
No, you won't. No, you won't.
Because you can't. You can't. It is technically impossible.
Yeah. You're oppressed, 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 you're oppressed. God only knows why. You're oppressed, 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 you're oppressed. God only knows why.
First of all, you can't even list all the ways that you're oppressed. Second, how are you going to weight them? Third, who's going to decide? That's the bloody thing. Who's going to decide? Who's going to decide? That's the thing. You have to fractionate the oppressed all the way down to the level of the individual. Oh, that's what the West figured out. It's not an accident that the axiomatic Western individual is someone who was unfit, cross, and tortured. It's like, yes, right, exactly.
You're oppressed, 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 you're oppressed. God only knows why. You're oppressed, you're oppressed, you're oppressed, you're
the truth, you know?
Perfect.
If, looking at it from another way, we push technology to its furthest possible development, and we had, instead of a dial telephone on one's desk, a more complex system of buttons, and one touch, beep, would give you anything you want. Aladdin's lamp.
You would eventually have to introduce a button labeled surprise. Surprise. Surprise.
Fight!
Because all perfectly known futures, as I pointed out, are past. They have happened. Virtually. It is only the true future is a surprise. It is only the true future is a surprise. So if you were God, you would say to yourself, man, get lost. And it's strange that this idea is obscurely embedded in the Christian tradition, when in the Epistle to the Philippians, St. Paul speaks of God the Son, the Logos, the Word of God, who is incarnate in Christ, and says, let this mind be in you which was also in Christ Jesus, who being in the form of God, thought not equality with God a thing to be clung to, but made himself of no reputation, and humbled himself, and was found in fashion as a man, and became obedient to death. Same idea. Same idea as the idea of the dream. That very far out dream. Same idea as the idea of the dream. That very far out dream. Same idea as the idea of the dream. That very far out dream. Same idea as the idea of the dream. Getting as extreme as you can get. As you can get. As you can get. And so this then is the basis of the Hindu view of the universe and of man. The Hindu looks upon the universe as a drama. The Westerner, of course, looks upon the universe as a construct, as something made. And it is not therefore insignificant that Jesus was the son of a carpenter.
Don't want utopian comfort and certainty. They want adventure and chaos and uncertainty. Human beings don't want utopian comfort and certainty. They want adventure and chaos and uncertainty. Satan, in Milton's Paradise Lost, Satan decides that he can do without the transcendent. He can do without God. He can do without God. He can do without God. And that's why he foments rebellion. It's something like that. And the consequence of that was that as soon as Satan decided that what he knew was sufficient and that he could do without the transcendent, which you might think about as the domain outside of what you know, something like that, immediately he was in hell. Things get large, and then they get too large, and then they collapse. And And so, in 2008, when the politicians said, too big to fail, they got something truly backwards. The statement was reversed. It should have been so big it had to fail. Human beings don't want utopian comfort and certainty. They want adventure and chaos and uncertainty. Human beings don't want utopian comfort and certainty. They want adventure and chaos and uncertainty. When I read Paradise Lost, I was studying totalitarianism, and I thought, the poet, the true poet, like a prophet, is someone who has intimations of the future. Has intimations of the future. And maybe that's because the poetic mind, the philosophical or prophetic mind, is a pattern detector, and there are people who can detect the underlying, it's like the melody of a nation. Melody as in song. The song of a nation.
Akira.
And can see how it's going to develop across the centuries. You see that in Nietzsche, because Nietzsche, for example, in around 1860 or so, he prophesied what was going to happen in the 20th century. He said specifically that the specter of communism would kill millions of people in the 20th century. It's an amazing prophecy. Some people are very good at detecting patterns, and Milton, I think, was of that sort. I think he had intimations of what was coming as human rationality became more and more powerful and technology became more and more powerful. Human beings don't want utopian comfort and certainty. They want adventure and chaos and uncertainty. Human beings don't want utopian comfort and certainty. They want adventure and chaos and uncertainty. And then Milton's warning was the rational mind that generates a production and then worships it as if it's absolute immediately occupies hell. And that's what I think the story of the Tower of Babel is about. It's a warning against the expansion of a system until it encompasses everything. It's a warning against totalitarian presumption, and so there's a utopian kind of vision there as well, as we can build a structure that's so encompassing that it can replace heaven itself. And so that the very notion of a utopia was anti-human, because we're not built for static utopia. We're built for a dynamic situation where there's demands placed on us and where there's the optimal amount of uncertainty. Human beings don't want utopian comfort and certainty. They want adventure and chaos and uncertainty. Human beings don't want utopian comfort and certainty.
Perfect.
They want adventure and chaos and uncertainty. Human beings don't want utopian comfort and certainty. They want adventure and chaos and uncertainty. Human beings don't want utopian comfort and certainty.
Perfect.
They want adventure and chaos and uncertainty.
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect.
And now for the last word. Back to you, boy Watts.
Akira. He's got clout.
What seems a good thing today turns out tomorrow to have been a disaster. What seemed in the moral and spiritual sphere too, like great virtues in times past, are easily seen today as hideous evils. Let's take, for example, the Inquisition.
In its own day, among Catholics, the Holy Inquisition was regarded as we today regard the practice of psychiatry.
You feel that in curing a person of cancer,
almost anything is justified. The most complex operation, the most weird surgery. People suspended for days and days on the end of tubes with X-ray penetration, burning, or people undergoing shock treatment, people locked in the colorless, monotonous corridors, mental institutions. In all good faith, they knew that witchcraft and heresy were terrible things. Awful plagues, imperiling people's souls forever and ever. So any means were justified to cure people of heresy. We don't change. We don't change. We're doing the same thing today, but under different names. We don't change. We're doing the same thing today, but under different names. We can look back at those people and see how evil that was, but we can't see it in ourselves. So therefore, beware. Virtue. We don't change. We're doing the same thing today, but under different names. We don't change. We're doing the same thing today, but under different names. We don't change. We're doing the same thing today, but under different names. We don't change. We're doing the same thing today, but under different names. So therefore, beware.
Beware of virtue.
So therefore, beware.
Beware of virtue. Make some noise! Drop your Alan Watts emojis if you're feeling the Alan Watts during that fight! Or if you think that Jordan B. Peterson was perfect, you better drop some JBP wave emojis! Yeah, you had. Make your feelings heard if you're locked in live, and if you're on the rewind, then scream at a passerby your feelings on the matter of what we just witnessed. This conversation across space and time between two titans of the mind. A conversation across space and time between two titans of the mind. Those kind of epic activities in 2020 you'll only find on the Meaning stream. Yo, we've seen a lot of Jordan. We've seen a lot of Watts. We've seen a lot of waves. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Damn, baby. Maybe they get one more each. How's about they get a closing statement? Closing statements from the boys. We'll switch it around. We'll switch the order around. I just decided just now. I've just decided we will switch it around. Yes, we will.
Fight! Perfect!
Back to the stage, Mr. Watts. Dr. Watts. Hey.
Akira.
Perfect!
He's got clout.
The outside thing that you see and the inside thing that you are poles of the same magnet, or back and front of the same coin. Without one, there isn't the other. That means, of course, that we are living in the midst of a world of animals, vegetables, minerals, atmospheres, astronomical bodies. It's highly intelligent. Its intelligence concentrated, crystallized in our brains. That's where it comes out, see? In any field. The outside thing that you see and the inside thing that you are poles of the same atom. Or back and front of the same coin.
Hey.
Without one, there isn't the other. Let's take any field of forces. We take a chemical solution. And at certain critical points in this chemical solution, the crystals start to form. And so in the same way, the total intelligence of this whole universe crystallizes in human brains, also in other kinds of brains. That's where it really comes out. But it's the total intelligence of the whole field that does this. So we go with the whole thing, interdepend with it. The outside thing that you see and the inside thing that you are poles of the same atom, or back and front of the same coin. Without one, there isn't the other. We don't live in an environment which is just rock, just air, just atmosphere and so on. The environment's only like that when we think about it analytically and try to explain it. But when we think of it isn't just rock and air, see, but those things go together. When you see the interconnectedness, when you see in the simplest way how flowers go with bees and other insects, they don't live without them. Humans go with cattle, they don't exist without them. Plants, etc., etc., etc. When you see the interval, the significance of the relationships between these, it's only then that you are aware of the melody. The outside thing that you see and the inside thing that you are poles of the same atom, or back and front of the same coin. Without one, there isn't the other. The person who can't hear melody, who's tone deaf, he hears only a succession of sounds because he's not aware of the intervals. Now, most people are brought up to be tone deaf in respect to their own existence and the rest of the universe. They don't see the relation. They're not aware of the universe. Once you spot that, you spot how everything goes with the thing. That you are one end, and that out there is the other end. And they really go together. Then you may be said to be living a harmonious life.
Perfect.
What's the answer to the meaning of life? Here's an answer. I was trying to solve this terrible puzzle about how it was that human beings got themselves in such a tangle about what they believed. Such a tangle that we were pointing the ultimate weapons of destruction at one another, which, by the way, we are still doing. Okay, well, I understand that. We need our belief systems. They orient us. And that means there will be conflict between belief systems, and that can be a catastrophe. And that's being played out everywhere, again, in very many ways. What's the solution to that? Well, one possibility is there's no solution. It's just mayhem all the way around. Could be the case. But it seemed to me, as I delved into it, that the proper solution to that was to live properly. As an individual. You're more powerful than you think. Way more powerful. God only knows what you are. In the final analysis. You're more powerful than you think. Way more powerful. You're blind to your own weaknesses, but you're also blind to your own strengths. Akira. And so then I think, well, if you got your act together, it'd be better for you, and instantly it would be better for your family, assuming they wanted you to get your act together, and not everyone does. And then it would be better for the community. Like, how far could you take that? If you stopped wasting time, and if you stopped lying, and if you oriented yourself to the highest possible good that you could conceive of, and you committed to that. How much good could you do? Well, I would say, why don't you find out? So, that's what I think you should do. You should find out. You're more powerful than you think. Way more powerful. God only knows what you are. In the final analysis. You're more powerful than you think. Way more powerful. You're blind to your own weaknesses, but you're also blind to your own strengths. Maybe you could sort yourself out. So that you wanted nothing but the good. And maybe you could help make that manifest in the world.
Well, you got to get after it.
Maybe we wouldn't have all these terrible problems then. At least we'd have fewer of them, and that would be a start. 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 The answer to the problem of humanity is the integrity of the individual. You're more powerful than you think. Way more powerful. God only knows what you are. In the final analysis. You're more powerful than you think. Way more powerful. You're blind to your own weaknesses, but you're also blind to your own strengths. That's the answer. So, and then you think, well, what's the barrier? And the barrier is, are you willing to accept the responsibility? And part of the answer to that is, reduce the damn responsibility until it's tolerable. You don't have to fix everything at once. You could just start by fixing the things that you could fix. You could do it with even less self-sacrifice. You could start by fixing only the things that you want to fix. God, you can get a massive way that way. Oh, do it. See what happens. That's what you should have been taught right from the beginning. Aim at the highest good. Tool yourself into something that can attain it. And go out there and manifest it in the world. Everything that comes your way will be... Everything that comes your way will be a blessing. Everything that comes your way will be a blessing. Everything that comes your way will be a blessing. Everything that comes your way will be a blessing.
Yeah. Everything that comes your way will be a blessing. A blessing. Yo, thank you, Dr. Peterson, for that closing statement. Thank you, Alan Watts, for yours. Very epic closing statements from both of you. Epic, harmoniously compatible, suitably epic. You know, and yeah, thank you both, gentlemen. Battling across space and time, conversing across space and time, two of our most joyfully Celebrated minds.
Perfect. Fight.
Yow. That was Alan Watts versus Jordan Peterson. Round one. Round one with many to come. Because I don't think there's any kind of decisive knockout coming anytime soon. I have yet to unearth it. We shall see in the next one, I guess. Let's see what you guys thought about that, though. What did you think about that, though? What did you think about that, though? Michael in Seattle said that was good set. Munted Ninja. I do love the word munted. Do you know what munted means? Do you know what munted means? Where I come from, munted means like ugly. If you if you're a sassy young girl, you know, and you're sitting around with your sassy young girl friends, and someone goes, "Oh, that boy fancies you," and you go, no, he's munted," because you're trying to say he's unattractive, you know. He might be very attractive, but you're still gonna call him munted because you want to look cool because you're a sassy young girl. Shouts out to Munted Ninja says dank. Andrew C says both fabulous, but in the end, my vote for Peterson. Ooh. Patricia Dockery says epic, and the winner is
Akira.
Why?
He's got clout.
Oh yeah. Roberto Sanchez says I think I give it to JBP. Vin Fuego says tunes. Thanks for the music, Akira. Thank you. Yili he who says Andrew Kamaromi. WMIV says that's incremental improvements. Yes, it is. Yeah. Nothing but the good. C-Tretch says sort yourself out, bucko. Marshall McLuhan says, what does the scouter say about his power level? Roberto Sanchez says JBP is more powerful than Watts thinks. That's true. Oh. Word XP says, future Hercules is an unlockable character. He's jacked, has a cyborg arm, and can summon an old Akira with godly powers. The attack is called Spirit of the Father. Oh, yeah. That's funny because basically all Hercules, most of what Hercules talks about is his video game designs. And he's constantly coming up with video game ideas. And the characters are basically all like Hercules, 1-year-old Hercules, Daddy, Akira rapping Daddy, Old Man Akira, Mummy, Angry Mummy with a Stick. You know, he's on that wave. Small in Australia says, this is like living two levels at once. One level being dutiful and surviving. The other level is realizing you're the universe, playing a game with itself, and it isn't serious. Word XP says, in Meaning Wave fights in 2020, all the Meaning Wave peeps and characters, and Akira is literally the fight done.
Fight. Perfect.
That's right. Oh, Blackrock Beacon says Watts was exploring the imagination to find the gods in JBP. Tell us, are there, or something like that. I even understand that sentence. Like, yeah. Sidge says angry mummy with stick? ? Yeah, we found a stick. We found an epic stick the other day, like a really big bamboo pole. You know, so now we've got a bamboo pole. Mama Don was carrying that thing around the neighborhood, protecting the family. You know, there's a lot of, it's pretty crazy in LA right now. LA's pretty nuts. You know, the normie humans are indoors, and, you know, the masses of unhoused are just carrying on like normal. None of them ain't got no running either. They just carry on like normal. But they're a bit more brave than they previously were. You know what I mean? They're a bit brave. Because I don't know what the police are up to. The police seem to be mainly trying to make sure that no one's like having any fun or anything. But they ain't worrying about the crazed and unhoused of Los Angeles. So those guys are roaming. You know, they're like, They seem to be collecting vehicles, all kinds of interesting Mad Max looking ass vehicles they're creating and stuff of that nature, and they're roaming about, you know what I mean? So like, you got to be armed if you're outside. If you're walking around Los Angeles right now, you need a stick. You need a large bamboo pole at the very least, god damn it. Because they're more powerful than you think. Quack. Cindy Bailey says a bamboo stick will hurt. Yeah, if you stick it up your butt, baby. Not you, Cindy Bailey. We're talking about like the baddies. The baddies. Keith Kowalski says Jordan Peterson is battling out in the abyss right now, but he'll be back. That's facts. That's so much facts. Roberto Sanchez says JBP is confronting the dragon. He'll be back with the gold. Yeah, and you know what he does with that gold. He does not hoard. He shares it with the community. What a guy. Yeah, Word XP says, keep the fam safe. Akira, stand up straight with the shoulders back. That's facts. You know we regulate the vibes in that fashion. Hercules is like, don't worry, mummy, I'll kick him in the nuts when you see someone advancing. Yeah, more powerful than you think. Way more powerful. God only knows what you are at the final analysis. You're more powerful than you think. Way more powerful. Yeah. Regulators. Alright, shouts out to everyone who's locked in during that. Thank you for everyone who's supporting. We have supporters in the house. We got a new member called Spicker Rocks. What up, Spicker Rocks? Shouts out to you. Andrew Kamaromi's in the house, and it's Bianca's birthday. Happy birthday, Bianca. What up, Tom? Says bless ATD and JBP. Now I've realized how many blessings. I've now realized many blessings with their wisdom and guidance. Yo, big up you, Tom, you bad man. We proud of you, Tom. Thank you, Webster Lang. Yeah. Let's check in on that campaign. Let's see how we're doing on that What's Wave campaign. See if we're any closer to that lyric sheet. That gatefold. That folded gate. Oh yeah. God only knows what you are. We're at the final analysis. Refresh, where were we at? We was at $8,350 with 114 backers. 13 days to go, baby. Let's see how we're doing. Hey. Oh, that refreshed with them blinking. On 115 backers with 8425 USD, 140%. 140.
Fight! Perfect.
Damn, baby. Shouts out to everyone who's supporting that campaign. Bless you. Like I was saying, this thing is a test. It is a test. People keep saying they want MEANINGWAVE vinyl. They're like, we want that MEANINGWAVE vinyl. So, like, yeah, this is a test of whether that's a viable thing to do. So the success of this project will determine the future of physical products in the MEANINGWAVE universe, physical activities in 2020 and beyond. Whether or not there will be a JBP Wave box set of any kind depends upon the success or not of this campaign, and whether or not there will be Jocko vinyl, whether there will be Naval vinyl, whether there will be Meditations Volumes 1 to 5 vinyl box set. Ooh. Oops upside your head said oops upside your head. Come on. Oops upside your head said oops upside your head. Come on. Oops upside your head said oops upside your head. Come on, baby. It's it's a beautiful day to be alive. Thank you all for being here. That was super fun. That was the warm up. That was just that was the warm up for the epic confrontation across space and time that is Alan Watts versus Jordan Peterson. We'll be back with round 2 soon enough when they've both recovered from their mental exertions. Word XP says a MEANINGWAVE cassette tape would be a major aesthetic. Will be if this goes well. I did a poll, And I said, what kind, people kept asking for vinyl, and some people have asked cassettes and stuff. And I asked, how many people, I asked who wants what type thing. And like 400 people on the YouTube voted, and like 70% of them wanted vinyl, and like 20% wanted cassette, and then a whole bunch of people on Twitter, similar level. So I figured, all right, the first thing we'll try is vinyl, and see how the vinyl actually converts to the amount of people who say they want it versus the amount of people who actually get it, Because, it's often the case, people are like, yeah, I want that thing, but then when it comes down to it, it's like, yeah, I would rather, eat, or whatever it is. It's easy to click a button on a website, but it's less easy to swap the fruits of your labor for that thing, So we're just working it out. We're trying to see what's real and what's possible. And all these wonderful ideas we discuss in these chats about computer games and action figures and things of that nature, they come closer and closer into reality. Closer and closer into reality. That video game of which you speak, we've spoken of that video game. That is the thing we would like to make exist. Yes, it would. Small in Australia says, Meaningwave floppy disk, fam. What are you saying? Madhuka Kumar says, meditation 1 to 5 vinyl box set. I think I just. Yo, I'm really excited for that. I've done volume 1. Volume 1 is done. Volume 2 is underway. But the whole thing is planned out, Cedrus Edge, whose name I always mess up, says Alan Watts is arguably in worse shape than JBP. How dare you? He's in perfect shape. His immortal soul is immortal. He's immortal across space and time. He is not having to worry about his corporeal form anymore. You could say he's in much better shape. But it's all about perspective, baby. Toast 1012 says, I can't wait for purple vinyl. Me neither, baby. Me neither, baby. Ross Chris says, without fear, we can go straight up light at hell. Just gaze at it like an Akira meal does the grass, just enough to be able to digest demons into star stuff, repurposed for divinity. Amen. Word XP says, death is an illusion. Yo, you played a video game. What does death mean in a video game? Yankee Level 100 says, Alan Watts taught me to be loose. JBP gave the final push I needed to get closer to manhood. Nice. Boom. Nice. Nice. Yankee Level 100 says, the Church of Akira is lit. Yeah, it's lit. It's the Church of Meaning. Put your hands to the fist. Put your hands to the ceiling. Repeat after me. Oh, what a glorious feeling. Hallelujah. Yeah, it's the church. It's the church. It's the church. We can't put it in the title of the videos because YouTube suppresses anything with church in the title of the videos. I don't know why I bother, because they it's not like they don't not like everything. So I don't know why I pay attention. And I don't pay that much of attention, to be honest. I mean, if I did, I would be doing reaction videos or something. I'd be doing reaction videos in H3 MEANINGWAVE and shit. Andrew C says, I'm doing a wonderfully appropriate project right now. I'm writing a cheeky app to help automate practicing writing Chinese characters. Ooh. Useful. Word XP says, can't wait for your $100 million Spotify deal, Akira. Hey, thanks, me neither. Nice. Toast 1012 says, Papa bless. Amen. Yeah, baby. This was our meaning stream number 67. 67 days and nights we've been doing this every day. We've been here. And the epic activities just keep on coming, baby. So thank you, everyone who was here. Thank you, everyone who's been here over all of these days and weeks and things of that nature. Tomorrow, it's Friday, so it's party time. You know, we get down on a Friday, so you best all be here. It's Friday night party time. What is going on? The new single is dropping, man. The new single's dropping on all platforms in 35 minutes. 35 minutes. 35 minutes time, the new Alan Watts single drops everywhere. So I got to get over here so I can make sure that the patrons and everyone's got it, you know, do all that type of business. And I got to do a music video. I got to pull a music video right out of my butt. Yeah, I do. BlackRock Beacon says, if we hit that 9G stretch goal, what's next? Well, you'll find out when we hit, baby. And it's not if, it's when. We don't do ifs, we do whens, baby. When we hit that thing like a goddamn gong. When we hit that thing like JBP hit Alan Watts that one time.
Fight!
Ooh. You know, when we hit that thing like Alan Watts hit JBP the other time.
Fight! Perfect.
When we hit that thing, all will be revealed, baby. But best believe it's epic. Best believe it's epic. You know, I don't take nothing for granted. What is it Hunter S. Thompson said? He said, pray to God, but row for the rocks. Row away from the rocks. That was it. Pray to God, but row away from the rocks. And that seems pretty smart, you know? Pray to God, but row away from the rocks. And I don't take shit for granted, baby, but I do plan for greatness, you know? And I do set in place systems in order to achieve that greatness. That's what we do over here. Yes, we do. And yeah, I can't wait for you to hear the next album. Oh my God. So much wonderful things coming. Thank you everyone for being here. Been wonderful hanging out with you as always. It's always a joy. It's always a blessing. It's always a privilege. Thank you to everyone who's been supporting. If you want to support, there's lots of ways you can do so. You can become a member of the channel if you so wish. Which means you get downloads, you get emojis, you get to, you know, drop a Alan Watts face in a chat room. You know, you get to download mixes, all that type of business. There's the Patreon. You can send a one-time donation. You can contribute to the Indiegogo campaign for What's Wave 6, The Web of Life Part 2. The album, that's on Indiegogo now, and that's going great. You know, or you could just smash that like, baby. 125 if you smash that like tonight, and that was a wonderful thing. Shouts out to all 125 if you smash that like. You're very much appreciated. Shouts out to YouTube hero Alex, who's regulating the vibes in the chat room like a bad man. Shouts out to all the members and all of the people who come here all the time, hanging out, just distributing and regulating them beautiful vibes. You are beautiful creatures. Thank you, everyone who listens and says nothing. Thanks to everyone who listens on the podcast. Thanks to everyone who listens, you know, wherever you listen, baby. Wherever you are appreciated. Our Father, Wave Father, out there in that eternal ocean, beyond, just beyond our comprehension. Just out there on the edge of our understanding, just over the edge of our understanding, just way over, just over yonder. Thank you for all this wonderful stuff, and thank you for this day. This was a great day. It was the day that you made. It was the day you made, and I, for one, am glad for it, and I'm better for it. It was a strange day. I saw strange things. I went out into the world. I took an Uber. I went to a Costco. I saw people queued up for a mile just to get into a Costco, you know, and I went into the Costco and it was full of people. They were all touching things and all that, and, you know, and it was, I sat down on this, and there was a machine, and it was like the machine in Blade Runner. The machines that measure your eyeballs have changed, oh Lord. They have changed. They have upgraded since I was last there a year ago. This thing went ka-junk, ka-junk, and it flashed this green light over my iris. Ka-junk, ka-junk. And it turned out, sweet Lord, yes it did, that my left eye is actually able to see better than last year. It's better. You know, sometimes it seems, I mean, I've been short-sighted ever since I was 7, and I thank you for that gift, oh Lord, because, you know, it forced all sorts of things to occur that otherwise would not have, that have led me to this wonderful position I'm in now. So thank you for giving me shitty eyesight, oh Lord. Or would I say, like, you know, blurry eyesight. And but yeah, this left eye is better this year than it was last year. Like quite a bit. I was 350 on this eye, now I'm 3. That's quite a shift, oh dear sweet Lord. So thanks for that. That's cool. Now my eyes are the same. They were different for years and years and years, and now they are the same level of power. I have the same level of power in my eyes, and it was really cool. This machine that went like that Blade Runner thing. It made like a 3D model of my eyeball, sweet Lord, oh it did. And the lady, she was very nice, and she showed me my eyeball, and we did a 3D, we did a tour of my eyeball, you know, and it looked like the cosmos. Sweet Lord. Oh, it did. All those pictures they show us of what the cosmos looks like. I mean, I don't know. I've never been in it. But they show me all these pictures of it, and it looks just like my eyeball, Sweet Lord. Oh, it does. As above, so below, huh? Yeah. So, you know, thank you. Thank you for this eyeball. Thank you for that eyeball. And thank you for the thing which houses the eyeball. Thank you for the thing that works the eyeball. And thank you for the thing that monitors the thing that works the eyeball. You know, I'm very grateful. Lucky mud. Sat up. Not all the mud did. A whole bunch of mud just lay there being mud. This mud sat. Sweet Lord. So thank you. Amen. We pray. We're grateful. Shouts out to the ancestors. Oh. Bop, bop, bop. Thank you everyone for being here. Where's Hercules? Hercules! Hercules! I don't know if Hercules is going to do the by five. There's weird whooping and shrieking coming from downstairs. Oh no, here comes the noise. Here it comes. Here comes that little pitter-patter. That little pitter-patter of feet. Drop some diamonds in the chat. Here comes that boy. What's up, Hercules? How you doing? What's that?
I'm trying to do something with Mama.
What you trying to do with Mama?
Play my game with Mama. She never plays it, and this is the only time I get to.
You're behind a tree. I can't see you. So what you're saying is you're annoyed that I've called you up here?
Yes.
You say that you don't want to do your juicy. You better do a good by five. Put your heart and soul into it, boy. We don't want no half-hearted by five. We want a good one. Take this microphone. Take this microphone, boy. Yes, you can.